In this lesson we will see how we can create the skeleton for this Spider-Man character so that we can create the controls and make this character ready for animation. So I'll start with the leg. It's better to see it from the side view. Now if this view is kind of disturbing for you, you can also choose to see the X-ray mode by going to shaded mode. You can choose the X-ray, so that shows inside the character, or we can also turn off the X-ray and choose only X-ray joints. So when we create joints, it would show the joints through the mesh. So I'll go ahead and choose skeleton tool. Make sure that you're in animation tab. Go to skeleton, join tool, options. So if there is any changes being done by the previous user of the computer, we can just reset the tool and close it. Let's see how the join tool works. I will choose join tool from skeleton menu. Okay, and as I click, every time I'm getting a new joint being created, and you will notice that the new joints that are created are connected to their parent joint, which means these new joints are actually children of the previous joints that are created. So to finalize, when I'm done creating joints, I can press enter key. So as you can see, when I rotate the parent, all the other children will also rotate along with that. And if I rotate this one, as you can see, the parent is not getting affected, but all the children are getting affected. I can rotate depending on whichever axis that I want. And you will also notice that the size of the joints are very small. We can increase the size by going to display, animation, joint size. So I can increase it here. Let's say I will keep it something like 1. I'll go ahead and delete this joint. I'll start creating the joints for my character. I'll go to skeleton tool, join tool. I'm going to start from somewhere here. So this is where the hip area is, and then I will start from below the hip, so somewhere, let's say somewhere here. And while creating the joint for the knee area, it is better to have some kind of angle instead of creating them straight. So I'll put it somewhere here, and then down here, and for the toes, one here and one out here. So this is the basic structure that we will be using for any kind of leg setup that we have. Once I'm done, I will press enter key. So you will notice that from the hip area I will be able to rotate the leg. From the knee area I will be able to rotate it, bending up or down. It doesn't go beyond that, which will break the leg actually. And for the foot area also I can further rotate it like this, and the toe. Now keep in mind these two things to be more in the horizontal same level, and this one should be a little bit raised up. Now once we're happy with that, we can finalize it. Let's see how that looks in our perspective view. You can see that it is coming in the center, but it is supposed to be coming in the side. So what we can do is we can go to the front view, okay, and we can move it slightly to the side. So I will choose move tool, that is W, and move it to the side. And you can see that it is not matching exactly. We can also pull these things individually, one here and one here. Let's see how that looks. Okay, it looks nice. I can turn on the X-ray joints tool so that it shows the joints even if it is inside the body. Okay, that's good. So next is to create the hip joint, which comes somewhere here. Okay, so hip joint is just going to be one single joint, so I'll choose skeleton, join tool, and just click. And just to finalize, press enter key. Now I will have to connect this leg joints to the hip joint. So I'll press the leg joints first, hold Shift key and select the hip joint and press P. So this basically connects the leg joints with the hip joint. Now hip joint becomes the parent of all, okay, and leg joint becomes the child of that, and the knee joint becomes the child of that, and so on and so forth. Now at this point of time, it is very important to name each of these joints that we have created. So let's go ahead and do that. For easy naming, we can also open our outliner by going to Window, Outliner. So you can see that here also it shows the hierarchy. As you can see, it starts with joint 6, joint 1, 2, 3, and so on and so forth. So this is the parent of all, which is joint 6, and then joint 1, 2, 3, and so on and so forth. Now let's give names for this. So this is going to be the root joint, that is the main joint. So I'll leave this as JT for joint underscore hip. For the next one also, I will start with JT, and then I will say left leg. Okay, as you can see, the naming convention that I'm using, I'm starting the word with a small letter, and for the next word I'm starting with a capital letter and continuing with the small letter. So it is better to maintain the same style everywhere. So the next one is JT underscore left knee, and then JT underscore left ankle or ball, JT underscore left foot. Now it doesn't mean that you have to use the same exact words that I'm using. You're free to use whichever words you like, but you should know which corresponds to which joint. JT underscore left toe. Now these names are very important, meaning that these left especially is very important because we will be replacing this left with right when we make a duplicate of these joints to the other leg. So if you write in small letter in one place, if you write in capital letter in another place, that will create problems. So let's go ahead and continue with that. We'll make a duplicate of all these joints to the other side. Now keep in mind, when you duplicate, you should not select this root joint, which will result in 2 hip joints. So we should be careful in that. So I will choose the left leg joint. We'll go to skeleton, and there should be an option called the mirror joint. Let's go to the options. Let's reset and choose search for and replace with. So search for left and replace it with right, or IGHT. So what it will do is, when it is making the mirror or duplicate from one side to the other side, it will be checking all these names, and wherever it finds left, it will replace it with right. Let's go ahead and click mirror. Let me just check one thing. The axis, I think it's YZ, not XY. So let me choose YZ as the axis for mirroring, and I'll choose mirror so that you can see that it makes a duplicate, and you can check if it's coming in the same place. It's perfect. It's perfectly aligned. Nice. Okay, now let's check how these names are coming. You can see that left everywhere where was left is being converted to right. So right knee, right ball, right foot, and right toe. And for all these things, the hip joint will be the parent. So when we move the hip joint, the whole leg, both the legs, left and right legs, will move together. Great. So now let's continue on creating the skeleton for the spine. Let me go to the side view. Okay, so I'll take the join tool. So I'll start from here. 1, then 2. It's better to keep them as straight as possible. 3. This is where the the shoulder will come, and then one for the neck. I think I can have the neck joint here itself, or probably from here. That's the neck and the head. I think I'll keep the head joint to be the same. Press enter. Now after you have created it, let's say for example you don't like the way that you have created this joint. If you want to modify this joint, if I move this down, you can see that the whole joint chain will move. Let's say if you would just want to move one single joint, not the whole joint chain, what you can do is you can press insert key and then move. As you can see that the selected joint only moves. I can do the same for all these other joints. Let's say I can pull this down. If I want, I can pull this down. I can pull this further down. Now you can see that this is actually not a natural place for creating a bend, because this whole area will have the ribs. So the rib cage will be here. So it is not natural to create a bending in the rib cage area, but still, just to create some kind of exaggerated movements, you might need it sometimes. So use it only if it is needed. So if you want to have some kind of distinction in the head area also, you can have one more joint here, but I'll just leave it like that. I'll press insert once again to come back. Let me see how that looks. I'll select from there, press here and press P, so that creates that connects the whole joints together. So keep in mind, this is our hip joint. Hip joint is our root joint. So all the other joints that we have created will be a child of this hip joint. Now let's create the hands. The hands, you can use the top view to create the hands. Go ahead and go to the top view. Press 5 and turn on X-ray skeleton. Before that, I have to name these joints that I've created. JT underscore spine 1. Okay, and the second one will be now these namings are very important because they will help you to identify your joints very easily. Otherwise you will have everything as joint 1, joint 2, joint 3 and so on and so forth. It will be very difficult if you want to pick a particular joint for any purposes. So I'll go to the top view, start creating these joints for the hands. Skeleton, joint tool. So I'll start from here. I think I'll start from here. Shoulder, starting from for the hand. Elbow, wrist, and we'll leave it just there for now, and finally we can attach all these other things later. Let me go to the perspective view and you will find that our hand is actually on the floor. Let's pull it up. Let's get the front view. Might have to slightly rotate it a little bit. Okay, I'll keep it somewhere there. Give a slight rotation. Good enough. I think I'll push this one little up somewhere here. Okay, for the shoulder. Okay, and the shoulder will be connected to this area, or spine 3. So I'll press this one, shift select this one and press P. Okay, that looks good. Let's give names to these. JT underscore left shoulder, and even say SH. JT underscore left arm, JT underscore left elbow, JT underscore left wrist. Okay, so now we'll have to make a duplicate of the other side, and before that I can create these hands and fingers and stuff. So I'll start creating them. Skeleton join tool. So I'll start from here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I think I'll move this a little bit inside. Just give some space there. Okay. And I can make duplicates of these. I'll give names to these. JT. I can just give names like finger 1. This would be like finger A01. Okay, or I can say FA01. JT, this would be left also. Left FA02. You can even copy this and paste just to modify it later. 03. And the last one, 04. So I'll rename here left. Okay, good enough. Now we can make duplicates of these to move to the other area. Rotate it slightly. Okay, Control D further. Rotate it here. Rotate it further. And we can make this a little smaller in different places. Let's make further one more duplicate. Push it out. Okay, so let's pull all of these together. We'll have to create one joint in the middle. Skeleton join tool, right in the middle. Give name to this. This will be called as JT palm, left palm. And for these things, these fingers we can rename them as B instead of A. It's a little tedious process giving name to each of the joints, but you will appreciate the usage later when you encounter some kind of problem. And this would be C. It's just one-time process that we have to do. Once it is done, then we are free. D. D. I think I left the last one with the same name. JT4. This is 4. This is 4, this is 4. Okay, so all those fingers, they get connected to the palm, so I will select this one, this one, this one, and this one, then finally select this one and press P, so all of them becomes the child of this one joint. And we will have to create one set of joint for this. I'll do that also. Skeleton join tool, one here, and one last here. So let's keep the same names for these. Left joint finger, we've got till C, right? D, E, and E2. I think this will be E1. Left F, E3. Okay, so all of them are connected to this one joint. I will connect this also to the same joint. Press P. You can also get all these connected directly to this. That's up to you. Press P. Okay, so one last thing that I have to do, because all these are getting, I think the last connection I can do after bringing all these up. Select this, pull them all up to fit the space of the hand. Okay, now I'll have to manually make them go inside, so I'll start from here. I can actually turn this off so that I can see which of them are actually inside and which of them are still out, and I can make slight rotations. Good enough. I think this will just get fixed with this rotation. Okay, and down here, get it fixed. Some minor rotations, yes. So now you can see that all the joints are basically inside the body. Okay, so let's go ahead and select this, press shift select this and press P, so that now I will be able to rotate the hand together. Okay, I can lift it up or down or whichever way I like. Also, these fingers will work independently. Now you can also select multiple fingers together, 1, 2, 3, and you will be able to rotate them like this. Okay, good enough. 1, 2, 3, and there you go. Now all of the joints are named and arranged properly, so we can make the duplicate to the other side. Select this joint, shoulder joint, and we'll make it to the other side. This time again the same mirror joint, and search for left and replace it with right. I'll say apply. So you can see that it makes the duplicate, and wherever there was left, all the left is being converted into change to right. So everywhere you will find right instead of left. Okay, so that's basically the skeleton structure of the entire character. Now if you want to have some kind of lip movements here, you can also bring in more joints here, one for the upper lip and one for the lower lip, so that you can create lips movements. If you have something like a character with big long ears, then you can have joints for the same. So depending on the character, you will have to modify the skeleton structure. So this is basically the skeleton structure for this two-legged, two-handed character. You will have the hip area to be the root joint, so that will control the entire skeleton. And then you will have two legs, two arms, and so on and so forth.